What's up, everybody? This your boy Marjay, and welcome to the very first episode of my new show, Everybody's Talking About It. The show where we're going to be talking about everything that everybody's talking about, and the show that everybody will be talking about. So as you can see, it's a celebration. It's my 30th birthday, along with my very first episode. So I couldn't do it by myself. I had to bring some of my closest friends that I've had in my life since I was 15. And I couldn't do it without them. So I want them to share. We're going to talk about everything about being an adult, about being 30, what it means, what we're taking on, what we're experiencing right now, what we thought we would be experiencing right now, and we're going to talk about that. But first and foremost, I got to tell you that I'm wearing what I had on last night, and I'm a little from last night because they threw me a party. So I had a little fun last night. So I said, I'm going to keep what I got on, and I'm going to wear what I got so I can go ahead and film this show. And that's how we're going to do it, and that's how we're going to start today. So I'm going to introduce you to some of my dope friends, and we're going to talk. Give it up for my friend Jazz. Come on, Jazz. Come on now, Jazz.
Hi, everyone.
And then here's my friend Terry.
Hello.
That's Terry. Give it up. Last but not least, got to give it up. You're going to see a lot of him. This is Rodney, and he always wants me to introduce him up as my best friend of 15 years. Come on. What's up, Rod?
Hey. Wait a minute. This is a special occasion. Don't y'all think the birthday boy need to wear something a little bit special?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, what y'all think?
Absolutely.
I think you should wear this.
Come on, put it on.
In honor of him being 30.
Okay,
Oh,
shout out.
put it
Come on,
on.
Jazz. Put it
Put it
on.
on,
Come on,
baby.
Jazz.
No.
Put it on.
All right.
Come on, Jazz.
Ready?
Is it on right now? You gotta flip it. You gotta flip
That's
it.
it.
That's it.
You gotta flip it.
Look,
this
you
way.
turn 30,
Listen,
you
we
start
don't-
forgetting
we
stuff
don't-
already.
He's
Right.
still in the
Wait,
No,
is this
one
what?
time.
Oh, crap. No,
Look,
you're
y'all-
wrong.
y'all,
What
we
y'all
30.
wrong?
There you go. Now
No,
you can see
We
it.
30, we forgetting stuff already.
Ah, that's yours. We
I don't know
losing
what they
it.
talking about. That
No,
was
they
the
you
fellas.
losing it. Cause
All
I ain't
right.
losing
You good
nothing.
now.
All right,
You
we
good.
taking a shot first. That's what we doing. We ain't sitting down until we get these shots out. I know y'all was tore up from last night.
I guess
But-
we gotta do what we gotta do.
You gotta do this is the 30, y'all. Cause we done made it. 2020 has been crazy.
All right.
30. That's
30.
it.
30.
That's it. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't hang. That's the problem. Y'all can't hang. Y'all can't hang. You can't hang. You can't hang. You can't hang.
I'm okay with that.
No,
Yeah. He knows.
I'm
He
okay
knows.
with it.
I don't change. That ain't my life.
No, I've been telling y'all that. This is what life is about.
Okay.
Life is about alcohol. Life is about alcohol.
But not Henny necessarily.
For real.
Henny necessarily.
But you gonna learn at 30, you about to slow down real quick.
I learned that when I fell asleep at a bar. That's when I kind of learned that. I went out after work one time and I said, wait, am I sleeping? Then I said, if
That's
this
how
happens
it
again,
is.
I might have missed the party. Sure enough, as my name is Maurice, it happened.
Fell
And I went to
asleep.
bed. Like, I went to bed at the
happened
bar.
to me. I went to Vegas for the first time, and I went to Dre's. But we was waiting for, I think it was Big Sean. He didn't come on stage till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like a bouncer or security, whoever, literally had to tap me on the shoulder, like, no sleeping in the club.
Sad.
They gonna start putting
Yeah.
that. They gonna start putting that as a
And
disclaimer on the
that's
wall.
when
They
I
gonna
knew.
say that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
But
so
what
glad.
happened to the days where, like, remember we was just 21 and drinking was the thing. Like, we would just be getting started at like 10, 11 o'clock, like getting dressed. Now it's like if I'm not out the door by
And
9, I
it wasn't even Henny
can't
and
help
all this
you.
top shelf stuff that we want to drink now. Like, we was satisfied with literally
With a
like
four low
whatever
Bottom
we got
shelf.
in.
Nikolai.
Wait. Let me be clear.
Nikolai was the change.
I was never okay with bottom shelf.
Oh, okay. Here we
I was
go.
never okay with bottom shelf. That is like
Miss.
yes.
I learned
I was
that
never
it
okay with bottom
was
shelf.
like, okay, I could go up a little
Yeah,
more.
well, we can go up a lot of it. We
Yeah.
can go up a lot of it. And then I realized the more you go up, the harder it is when you come down.
Yeah.
It's, man.
And you know, back to what Ronnie said when we could, 21 and we were able to just
Bounce
get dressed
back.
up, bounce back. Remember when you could be out all night and go to work?
And still go to work.
Go
Yeah.
to work.
And it wasn't a problem at all. No
I wish I
sleep.
would.
Yeah,
Well,
I
y'all
can
speak
sleep
for
when I get
yourselves.
off.
I still take my ass to work because you want to know what? Them mother bills. Those mother.
I tell you that when you turn
Let me
30.
tell y'all
like,
something. All y'all out there. A bill? That is the sin. That is the bills are ghetto as hell if you ever know.
Ghetto.
They're so ghetto. They're so ghetto.
Do not recommend.
At all. They're ghetto.
Adulthood is ghetto.
Yeah, well, I would agree.
Oh,
Yeah.
I shall agree. I shall agree.
It's
Adulthood
ghetto.
is very ghetto. Very ghetto. And the biggest
It's
bill
optional.
that is ghetto is rent. Paying
Oh my
rent.
God.
Paying rent is so beneath me. I can't believe that I'm doing it. I cannot believe that I'm in the prime of my sexy ass life paying rent. I'm like,
You know what though? See, I can pay my rent. You know what I don't like paying for?
What?
My car.
Yo.
I don't like paying for my car.
Yo.
Like I'm driving. The minute I drove it off of the lot,
I want to be done with
the
you.
value went down.
I want to be done with you.
And I gotta pay all this money and the value just dropped as soon as I drove off the lot. I have a big problem with
Were
that.
y'all one of those like 21-year-olds that's like, all right, when I'm 25, I'm gonna do it like this, and then by
Yep.
the time I'm 30,
Yep.
I'm gonna have it like this,
Absolutely.
but not realizing like what came with
Right.
that. Like now that I'm here, I'm like, I'm gonna go back to 21 so I can like
Right.
This is why,
Pace
this is why I feel like
myself.
life
'Cause according
is a
to me,
scam.
I was supposed to be in Beverly Hills by now.
Right.
With like
You.
a white
You.
picket fence
With
and
a
a
You.
husband and a family and a dog.
You. I was opening up for Janet. I was on tour right now. I was on tour opening for Janet D. Jackson. That was me. That was supposed to be my life. But look at me now.
Right.
Who am I now? I'm some man stuck in the HR department
right.
who f***ing hates Mondays?
9 to
That's
5.
me. That's me.
9 to
That's
5
me.
just to stay
I'm
alive.
Maurice who hates Mondays from HR.
Stop.
That's how I am. And I make coffee. I make coffee as soon as I get in the motherfucking door because that's how important it is. That's how important it is. This adult life, y'all. Let me tell you this. What I expected was for me, I said by 22. I never even said 21. I said by 22. I was going to have me a fly house, and this, that, and the third. I was going to have a fly car. I was going to be on tour. I was going to be this big singer. Like, I was going to be this big thing. And then I smoked. So this got shot. So that ain't happening no more. You know, you ain't getting no out of this. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so things had to go, had to revert back. So I had to take my ass back to school. And it was like, all right, now you gotta go back to school. So that added 70,000 more to the pot of what I already had.
Bills.
Because what mom did, she put some shit in my name back in the day. So that was right.
Growing up black.
On top of that, now it's student loans. So then you go get a job that ain't even paying you how much your student loans.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a percentage.
Barely a third.
Not even a percentage of what you owe back to the student loan people.
Damn.
Fannie, Sister Fannie.
Oh, I don't know how.
I don't, but yeah, I know.
No, you know who I know? I know Fed Loan.
Well, them too.
That's what
I know all them.
I know all of
them.
Yeah, I know. What did I say? Fannie?
Fanny, he's talking about Fanny.
Sally.
Sally's name,
I
bro.
know it was one of them. It was her sister. I thought they were
They
sisters.
related?
Yeah.
They're all related if you ask me.
It's all scams.
So let me say this. I've known you all for actually around 15 years apiece. Actually, I've met you ninth grade. I met you ninth grade, and I met you in about 7th grade. So I've known you the longest. In this time that I've known you guys, we have grown in so many different ways. So I want to, individually ask you all, where did you think you would be, and who were you before you became this adult? Like, who were you?
Oh,
We can start
that's
with you, Ryan.
interesting. That's interesting. Like you said, we knew each other about 15 years. We started out as teenagers, me and Maurice, and I ain't gonna tell you the trouble we got into. But who I was just a random kid trying to figure out life. I didn't know where I fit in at as far as being accepted by the world and all of that. So I didn't know where I was. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to be prepared for life. But I think that as I got older, I realized life is all about just figuring it out. You don't need to be at a certain place by a certain age. You just need to take the hand that you're given and play it well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very nervous and not prepared for life and just going with the flow. But I think the person that I am now, I'm much wiser at 30 years old, and I just figured out that basically there is no one way to skin a cat, like one of my teachers used to say. You just have to take each day and figure it out. So who I am now is just better than yesterday. That's all I can say. Is who I am now is better than the person that I was 15 years ago. That's all I can say.
I like that too. I like that.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Jazz.
Who I am now versus who I was. Well, I definitely think that, by the time I would have thought that I would have been a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer for years. Then I got to high school and I was like, actually, do I really want to do this? Then I went to college and I was like, what do I want to do? So a lot of my life, I think I look at myself as a mover and a shaker. I'm very adaptable. I can adapt to my surroundings pretty quickly. So I think as much as that pains me sometimes because I feel like I was never a person who, outside of being a lawyer, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And then once I let that idea go, I really, or I don't even say let it go. Once I like put it in the back of my, threw it in the bag, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So based on like my jobs and the different things that I've done over the years, I know that I fall in the realm of social service because most of my jobs have been that. And like currently, I'm a teacher, so which is difficult.
Yeah.
But needed.
Needed, and that was one of the things. I'm like, I wanted to work with kids who looked like me, and who were relatable, and they needed to understand that you don't have to figure it all out now because you're not going to figure it out at 21, 25. It may take you a little longer than that. Or 30. If you ask me, I still don't know what I want to do. I tell my students all the time, I'm like, I didn't know I was going to be a teacher. You couldn't have told me that. This was not in the agenda. I had no plans for this. So I think by now I've at least accepted that like my adaptability is a skill and it's something that will continue to take me far in life.
I believe
Where in life, I don't know.
Right.
But
no, you got a motherfucking future, Jess.
But
I don't care what nobody says.
But it's not wasted. I appreciate it. Before I used to be like, dang, I wish I was one of those people who knew exactly what they wanted to do. But that's just not my personality. I think I'm better off being able to do a little of this and do a little of that. Yeah. And I think my goal was to put all those degrees, put all that experience together and find that dream job or create that dream job. Or their dream career, or their dream life. Yeah.
So basically, no regrets. You know what I mean? Everything that you went through before, you good.
Right.
Terry?
For me, I feel like I was the type of girl who just always went with the flow, just because like I felt like I didn't have any control when I was younger over what was going on. I feel like a lot of what my parents went through, I was like in the dark about it just because I was younger and didn't really know what was going on. But I felt like it took for me to grow up and go through some experiences on my own where I had to learn life lessons, and then you could think about, oh, so when my mom and dad was going through this when I was that age, now you kind of understand it a little bit more from
that's
your
a whole nother story.
That is
20s point of view versus like that preteen teenager still struggling and confused with just like life in itself. And then I felt like I was still naive and even like in Cheney and being in college, like just gullible. And like now I feel like I'm in a space where I can make some decisions on my own and be a leader and not follow the crowds. And I hate that social media now has like sucked us in so much to making us think that we got to do it like this. Or
don't
try
it, because that's coming.
That
conversation's coming.
another
That conversation's coming.
So I feel like
that one's coming.
now, about to be 30, it's like I've been realizing some different things. Like my head is like in a totally different space, and I can look back at like 21 and was like, girl, what? Like I always say, I wish I could go back and like do some things over, but you can't turn back the hands of time, and you got to deal with like life as it comes. So
you know that saying, if I knew then what
I
I
knew
knew
now.
I used to hate when adults would say that to me, and now it's like
it's so prevalent. It's prevalent in your life. And here's what I'll say, because for me, because everything that everybody said kind of touched on a little bit of what I had to experience in life. And you all know me very, very well. I've experienced some of my biggest experiences with the three of you, actually. For me, I no longer give a so allow me to reintroduce myself. My name's Maurice, and I don't care about what anybody has to say, actually, because I've worked my ass off to get in this position for me to be able to say that. Like that's a lot of things that takes a lot of confidence that had to come with that, because I wasn't a very confident kid at all. It didn't matter how many people said, oh, you were talented at this or you were good at that. I never felt it because I didn't get that from my peers. I got that from different adults. Like, oh, your child is so talented, or you're this, you need to do something with him, you need to do that. But the people around me didn't feel like that. The people my age did. So I had people that was in my church, you know, that I was friends with, but outside of that, the people didn't understand me. I wasn't understood. So that's what I would say. So I had to, you know, it took me 30 to understand that I was misunderstood. Not that it was about, oh, well, this person doesn't like me or this person. No, he just doesn't understand me.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that you don't care about that kind of shit.
Right.
You care about this kind of shit.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Find you some friends that care about that kind of shit. And this is where I say, I don't call y'all friends, I call y'all blessings. Because this is what happens. Y'all sow into me just as much as I sow into you guys. So everything that I do, when I started this experience, everybody said one response, which was OMG. Because y'all know me. So people that understand you will be on board with what they see for you. Because they've been saying this for you for a long time. So a lot of things you can't see in yourself, this is what I've now accepted at 30 is accountability. That's one thing that I did. Now I have to be now accountable.
Can we just take a drink to that?
It's accountable.
You tell my thoughts on that.
Because
Hey, the pause.
You the pause.
Because I now am no longer accountable just for things that I did, but for the things that I allowed others to do to me. So, and when I say that, you start getting into a box where I have to start second guessing myself about what you think about me, and it's like, wait a minute, something's going on. Something's going on with that thought, because when I come home to my door every day, there's only one his name on them bills. And when I tell you this, that ghetto rent, that only one name is on that lease. And nobody offers me not one cash app, no Zelle, no Venmo, no PayPal, no nothing. So I can't take your opinion of how you feel about me and take that at face value. Because guess what? What am I supposed to do with your fucking opinion? Put it on 2 pieces of bread and make an opinion sandwich? Should I put it in a pot and make an opinion stew? What the am I supposed to do with it?
But you know what
Ask me that. What am I going to do with your mother opinion? I can't do anything with that, because guess what I got to do come Monday morning? Go to work and pay fucking raggedy ghetto bills. Pay every goddamn ghetto bill I got. And be the Maurice from HR that hates Mondays. You right about it. And I can make him a cup of coffee.
Have you perfected the cup of coffee at 30? I know I have finally perfected a good cup of coffee. And before 30, I didn't even drink coffee.
But the best part of waking up.
A cup of tea. And I'm not a coffee drinker, so I prefer
You might start.
And hot cocoa.
But I feel like I like to have it in the morning. Like I feel like a grown up, like my coffee.
I feel like a grown up.
It gets your day started.
It gets the day started. And when you know you have to sit in front of a computer or a group of kids, and you really just
well,
want to
let me
lay
ask
back
y'all
down, you
this.
need
Let me
something
ask y'all
to keep
this.
you up.
Did y'all get to the pain body part yet? Are y'all there yet?
I have on BioFreeze right now. That's the only way I'm gonna make it here. You gotta spray that bad boy and rub it in.
Come on, bad
and it
boy.
gets tingling.
Like, ew, I'm at the point where, like, I sit down, I make a noise like, whew. So my 90-year-old grandma was like, you too young to be making noises. And I'm like, I gotta, like, keep that aside.
My mom do that. Let me tell you what.
I feel like
It's a getting up for me.
Irene does this to me all the time. My mother does this to me all the time. She goes, oh, you too young, you're only 30. Mom, 30 in the fucking 80s is different than 30 in 2020. Let me tell you something. All you did, you knew the people next door, you knew the people around the corner, and you knew the people that you work with. We know 5 million fucking people we gotta make happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I gotta go to work. I gotta
It
do all
was
this
much
shit.
easier
I
back
gotta
then,
look
I
a
think.
certain way nowadays. 30 is stressful in the 2020s.
Right.
In the fucking 80s, all you
It
have to do
was
is worry about
easier
feeding
back then. I will
kids.
say that. It was easier back in, like, our parents. Here's the reason why I'll say
Milk
that
was
real
5
quick.
cents.
Think about we was growing up, right? And we out on the block. They helped each other. Do you remember when our neighbors helped each other, and when they saw us, the kids, doing something, your neighbor was allowed to correct you and all of that, or you could borrow a cup of sugar or a cup of ice or whatever. You could borrow a cigarette or whatever. They was helping
Come
each
on,
other.
borrow a cigarette.
But today, today,
I'll give it right back. I'll give it right back. I promise you I'll
I
give
don't
it back.
even know my neighbors.
right.
right? I don't even know my neighbors.
I mean, maybe one.
I know
They
a couple of
can't
my
help
neighbors.
me. We
I
not
know
gonna help
enough.
each other. We're doing everything by ourselves.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody looking out for you, whatever like that. Ain't nobody helping you. Ain't nobody like checking on you. It's harder today than it was back then because I felt like the community was much safer, and they helped each other. We just
Well,
don't have it today.
what I think happens is that we adjust to the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, back then, or even when we were younger, like you said, it was more collective. People cared about each other, or at least you felt like people cared about each other, or you saw it.
Yeah.
But I feel like now you kind of feel like we have to assert our independence. Like we have to be like, all right, I'm doing this on my own because I don't have that. I don't have the neighbor across the street that I can go borrow sugar from. So I gotta go buy my sugar.
He's just like shaking his head so hard. What do you have to say?
What do you disagree about?
It ain't about that neighbors. Because you want to know what? The neighbors are so nosy, man. Like at the end of the day, we all sit around here and be like, you know, we need that camaraderie, but we don't have it no more. It's like people ain't the same no more. People, they don't want to help you. They want to be in your motherfucking business. They come around here like, you got a lot of company coming through.
Right.
Ain't none of your goddamn business. How much company coming? I got to. I work all goddamn day. I don't want that. I'm going to have company.
Nosy though. Like I feel like they still gonna be.
They've been nosy.
They're not
I
gonna
think
change.
they're just more audacious at this point.
Yeah,
They'll actually say something to you. That's why I said it's much harder now.
Yeah, it is. All that. Because let me tell you this. We deserve the credit. You know, we put the time in, and it's harder now. I understand that a lot of people realize that it was harder then as well. Not taking away any credit from what the people older than us, our elders have experienced. But I will honestly say that this is the hardest because even talking to my 91-year-old grandmother and her saying in her 91 years of living, she's never experienced living in a situation like what we're living in right now. So can you imagine being a 30-year-old individual who's trying to start your life in 2020 and the different adversities you're about to fucking face financially with COVID, all of that shit. And you want us to not get the fucking credit that we need for this? And then you gotta work, and then it's hard because you two both work with children. So that's one thing. You work in the health field. I work in HR. I'm going to keep repeating that because that's a fucking hard ass job for all of it. Just think that HR is more than that. Motherfucker, I work with money. Motherfucker, I work Listen, I'm tired. Shit, you don't make enough.
All tired.
You don't make enough.
That's why people be like, you too young to be making those millions for your needs to be hurt. Like for the type of work I do day in and day out with these children, like I'm literally sitting in Indian style, sitting in small chairs,
you got
just
that.
to be at their level.
Go ahead, get Indian
No,
style.
but she works with children that have autism, so it's different.
So with
like
them, you have
3 to 6.
Yeah.
So
you
You have to get down there with them.
And it's like I'm not
Yeah.
20 and like
God bless y'all.
When I tell you this, remember one of me and Terry's movies is Big Mama's House. So listen, it's this part where she be like, "Oh, happy day." I do that every moment I get up because listen, it's an old happy day. Cause bones cracking and shit, and I'll be like, thank you.
Oh my God.
we're not going to.
Listen,
morning,
I'm so
when
glad.
Hold on. Are you guys having a Kappa moment?
No.
You guys having a Kappa moment?
No.
Part of that.
No.
We can create a moment though.
No.
We can create a moment.
Wait, I'm gonna have my own moment.
But
Y'all do know I
But
went
y'all
to.
went to different schools. It wouldn't matter.
I went to the
Gerard
Gerard Academic Music
This is
Program,
camaraderie. Because not only did we go
the
to
Creative and Performing Arts.
don't listen to anything he's talking about. Because he didn't even say it right. It's actually the Philadelphia High School for the Creative and the Performing Arts. And then it also was Cheney University, the first historically black university. 1837.
Yeah, you didn't know
He don't know.
So,
you didn't even know the date.
with that being said, I had.
He's 30 now, y'all.
That's what it is.
No.
Thank you.
You don't realize
Thank
he's
you.
slowing
What you
down.
talking about?
He's
Anyway,
slowing down.
back to what I was saying. So, like I said, every morning I get up and I thank the Lord after everything. When I step my foot on the floor, thank you, Lord. When I sit on the toilet, I thank you, Lord. When I get up off the toilet, I
You
thank
never
you, Lord.
noticed.
When I get in the shower, I thank you, Lord. When I walk out the door, thank you, Lord. Because it's only God that's making me move these bones.
No,
like you
it's
say.
because you
Because
know,
everything hurts. So you gotta sit here and you get you a solid piece of toilet paper and you wipe that ass. You go, thank you, Lord, because it's that deep. It's really that serious. Because you don't never
There's a
get.
statement for everything you do at 30. Like,
Oh,
you
God,
sit down. Do you ever catch yourself rubbing your knees now?
Oh, I do.
Doing this all day.
Oh, I do. I go better than you. I soak my feet. I soak the
Epsom
feet.
salt is a thing.
Epsom
for me
salt
now.
been a thing.
Like when I run out, I get some more Epsom salt. Like,
Are y'all serious?
I'm not an Epsom salt status, but I probably should use it. I'm gonna be honest, because for me it's getting up. It's the getting up.
You gotta prepare.
It's like,
think about
it's like, all right,
Go and get you some Epsom salt.
listen, it's like, all right. Or no, I can get up. No, you know what it is? It's the steps.
Oh, it's been the steps.
Steps.
It's been the steps for about 3-4 years now.
Like,
It's been the steps for about 3-4 years.
That's not at 25.
the steps. It's like,
the
how
steps
many
been.
steps is
The
it?
steps
Like,
been.
how many steps does it take me to get from down here to my
Yo,
room?
it's sad.
How many steps does it
Literally
get in here?
release something upstairs like, wow.
And you can't see shit from here to New Mexico. You
Yeah.
can't see
Woo!
a thing.
Well, I've been
Baby.
blind.
You can't see
I've
a
been
thing.
blind since I was 6.
Baby.
So
But I think it's worse now because now I couldn't see back then, but now driving it's like the lights.
driving at night.
Driving at night and then all the lights, it looks like a big beam.
And
I'm
listen,
like,
I'm a left lane driver, right?
oh.
But at night, I'm like, I think I need to switch over to the middle because the lights
Now, this might be
coming
a
at me.
TMI.
Slow down.
Blinding
This might
together.
be a TMI. But it's even coming to a bladder problem. I can't hold my water for shit. I be sitting here rushing home at the door just dancing with the key. I'm like, oh, I gotta pee
Yo,
every fucking minute.
It's so
Memory
funny.
loss a little bit.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
well.
forget, like,
Well,
I
that we can
just
attribute
said-
to, thanks to Bob. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
no, at work, and I work from home right now. Every time I give them a break, I'm like, it's funny. Sometimes I don't go anywhere. Sometimes they be like, she went to the bathroom, y'all. I'm like, damn. They just, somebody called me. They're like, she went to the bathroom. I'm like, damn.
But I gotta make one thing
No,
clear.
that's what I'm doing on my
I gotta
break.
make one thing clear because we gotta tell the audience I don't pee the bed now. I
Nah,
got
yeah,
a
we
bad
got
problem,
them issues.
but I ain't paying no goddamn bed because some of y'all into that.
That's my
So I some of y'all are into that. So people be into that. People love you to piss the bed now. You
But
pee
no,
the
we're
bed?
not
What?
gonna get it. We're not gonna get into that.
Write them sheets up and send them to me.
Let's not
You
talk about
into
those
that
people.
shit.
We're not
You
gonna get into
shit.
that.
And if y'all paying enough, I'll pee the bed tonight. Fuck around and send you some sheets.
I don't know. You've been working on that. You might.
We know you get to that old freak stage.
Well, listen, ain't nothing like some S&M nowadays. You gotta take that
Oh my
shit. Get you a little belt.
No, we don't. No, just because we turn 30, we don't turn into these crazy maniac sexual beings.
Who don't?
I don't
Who
think
did?
so.
Who ain't?
He
You
likes
lie.
to speak for
You can
yourself.
speak
You've
for
been doing it for
yourself.
like a day.
It don't matter. I've
He
been
just
30
got
for a
here.
day. But
I think
I'm
he's
telling
been
you.
practicing.
Next week,
No, to
y'all.
be honest with you, I've always been 30. So, Jazz, you know this a lot because so let me go back to a serious moment. Let me get to a serious moment. So I was the kid that always was told that, oh, he's too grown. Like, oh, he got too much mouth. And he got too much of this. He got too much that. And that doesn't, but see, the thing about it is every kid is different. Every kid is different. You got to start understanding that. Stop treating kids like, oh, I would beat his ass if he talked to me like that. No, just every kid is not on that level of not understanding or not processing. So some kids really don't like to be talked at. Like nobody wants to be.
I don't think
So
anyone
I
likes to be
never,
talked at.
right, but some kids, they used to it. That can go like, oh, don't you ever do that again. I wasn't that kind of kid. I would be like what
So
does
I
that mean?
disagree with him, and I understand what he's saying, but at the same time, as me, and I also have a kid, you can't talk at a kid. You're right. You cannot talk at a kid, but at the same time, correcting a kid is important. So I understand you're saying you weren't that kid. You weren't that kid that could be saying that you can say don't do that, but you have to be told. You're a kid,
but that's
and
not
you are
the case.
talking too much, and you are in
That's
adult
not the
conversation,
case.
and you
Then
do need to respect.
Say it like that,
elders. You
then,
do
but
need
that's
to.
the point.
You
They don't say it like
and
that.
if you said that to me, I would whoop yo.
But
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I want to throw a point out there. So regardless of what is being said, does it matter who it comes from? Like, would you even receive it? Because let's be real.
Yeah.
Some people you're just not going to receive information from, right?
I agree.
Like,
But that's
it's
not-
like your mom, right? Your
Right.
mom. It's like some stuff you just can't hear from your mom,
Right.
but you hear it from
From
your
other
cousin
people, yeah.
or your brother or
Yeah.
your sister, and it's like, okay, I received it, but your mom said the same thing. She said it in a way that you just weren't going to receive it.
So let me pinpoint. Wow, let me put the bullseye in it. People didn't like the way that I would conversate with my mom.
Okay.
So if it came off as like, oh God, if that was my child, oh, he would be this, that, and the third. My mom gave me a segue to express myself. Because now you have to understand what might be going on with my child instead of just saying, shut the f*** up, this isn't your place.
Yeah.
Because what happens is I had older siblings. my mother, I was the youngest. I was the baby. My oldest sibling was 17 when I was born, and the one under her was 15. So by the time I even got to be 5, they were already in their 20s. So now you're hearing different conversations, you're experiencing different things. So it wasn't like I was ever in this little boy that sat with the Fisher Price kitchen. No, you now have to know what's going on. Like, you have to know, because we're going to be moving here. We're going to be going there. We're going to be doing this. So you have to know what's going on. So when you come around other adults who's used to putting children in their place, it comes off different. They respond different. So it's about how you say it. So it's not like that, oh, you were correcting me for being what I did. So if I was talking too much, I was the kind of kid, don't ever to be like, you talking too much. I was the kind of kid to go, well, who are you? I'm the kind of kid to go, Maurice, you know, I wanted to be on your level. So that means talk to me exactly how you would talk to your coworkers or how you would talk to your thing. And some kids are like that. My oldest is like that. He don't like to be talked at. He likes to be talked to or talked with. So that means if you want to have a conversation with me, talk to me just like you would talk to anybody else. Don't sit here and try to do the whole, oh, you too grown, you too this. Go sit down. And I was always that kid. Like, oh, you got to be the one to be like, you too much.
I agree.
And that's too much.
I agree with
and
that.
That's too much.
But like, think about it. Being 30 now, like in retrospect, even though you didn't like how some of those people did those things, I think that people may have been showing that they care or that they were interested in you. And again, sometimes it's just about the delivery and who it's coming from. And sometimes you just don't receive it from people.
And I feel like that always been Maurice because he was like bold and like spoke his mind. Like he was always remembered by that. Like even in high school, like.
That's true. Everybody knew who Maurice.
Right, but like let's think about that. Like if you take people from church, like the church family, like I'm sure there were people who you just want to receive things from. Same here, you know. But it doesn't mean that they didn't care.
No, it wasn't that I was saying
but at the
they
moment
didn't care.
it came off. No, but that's how it can come off, and it's like, well, I'm not that person, so you don't care enough about me to understand how I am and how I'm going to receive the information. But it wasn't. It may not even have been about you. You know what I mean?
But no, it wasn't about that. My thing was the overall spectrum of it. When you look at it, people treat kids like kids all around the board, but they don't really look at that every child really may be different.
I agree with that.
Like this child may receive information differently.
Yeah.
But you know, we can go on
but
about
that's why it's important to teach your kids to be well-rounded.
Right.
Yep.
That's how you fix that.
Listen, for conversations like this and more, y'all gotta stick around for next week. Next week, I'm talking about everything about single versus relationships, and we're gonna get really, really touchy and deep in that. So come back, because I know this conversation was getting a lot for y'all, but hey, it's what everybody's talking about, so we talking about it too. See y'all next week.